Part 1. 911, what's your emergency? There's a man. I think he's dead. There's blood everywhere. Please, send someone. I think I know who did it, but I can't be sure. What if everything that led to this moment could have been stopped if someone acted just 13 seconds sooner? This is not a movie. This is not fiction. This is a chilling, true story of how 13 seconds changed everything and how silence can kill. Clapperboard Scene 1. The town that trusted too much. Sagefield, Illinois. A small town nestled between cornfields, Sunday barbecues, and quiet streets. The kind of town where everyone leaves their doors unlocked and their secrets buried. In 2022, Sagefield had a population of just under 7,000. Crime was almost non-existent. But on the morning of August 17th, everything changed. At exactly 6:04 a.m., the first 911 call came in from a high school senior named Elliot Reeves, who was out on his morning run. He stumbled upon something no teenager should ever see. The body of Adam Keller, a beloved high school teacher, sprawled face down behind the bleachers of Lincoln High School's football field. His throat was slit. His watch stopped at 5:51 a.m. And the eerie part? His phone had dialed 911, but no one spoke. The call lasted exactly 13 seconds. Clapperboard Scene 2. Who was Adam Keller? Adam Keller was the kind of teacher students remembered long after graduation. Funny, passionate, and firm. He taught history, but also coached the debate team. Married with 2 kids, he was seen as the model citizen. But behind the polite smile and weekend BBQs, Adam had secrets. And more importantly, enemies. Rumors began swirling. A student had recently accused him of inappropriate behavior. A fellow teacher had a heated argument with him a week prior. And his wife? She hadn't been home the night before the murder. Police found no defensive wounds, suggesting Adam didn't fight back. Or worse, he knew his killer. Clapperboard Scene 3, 13 Seconds of Hell. Detective Maya Ellison, lead investigator on the case, uncovered something strange. The school had security cameras. Plenty of them. But from 5:42 a.m. to 6:07 a.m., every single camera went black. A scheduled server update. Claimed the IT department. A total coincidence, they said. But Maya didn't believe in coincidences. And she was right not to. She recovered partial footage from a neighboring parking lot across the street. What it showed sent chills down her spine. At 5:48 a.m., Adam is seen walking across the field alone. He pauses, looks behind him. At 5:49, a second figure appears behind the goalpost. Hooded. 5:50. They approach. 5:51. Adam drops. 5:51:13. His phone starts dialing. But then nothing. Just static. Silence. 13 seconds too late. Clapperboard Scene 4. Everyone has something to hide. Police began questioning everyone connected to Adam Keller. Suspect 1. Claire Dalton, the student who accused Adam of crossing a line. She was 17. Smart, calculating, and openly vocal about her distrust of him. But her alibi? She was at home on a Zoom therapy session. Suspect 2. Eric Thompson, the jealous fellow teacher. They were both up for department head. Eric had motive, but he also had proof he was out of town. Suspect 3, Melissa Keller, Adam's wife. They had a rocky marriage. Melissa hadn't been home the night before, but she claimed she was staying with her sister in another town. However, phone records showed something strange. She'd been near Lincoln High School at 5:43 a.m. When confronted, she broke down. I didn't kill him, she said, but I saw who did. Clapperboard Scene 5. Melissa's secret. Melissa claimed she followed Adam that morning because she suspected he was cheating on her. She parked a few blocks away, walked toward the field, and saw her husband meet someone. Someone she recognized. Someone who should not have been there. But when Detective Ellison pressed her, Melissa refused to name them. He's already dead, she said. You can't help him now. But I have children. I won't risk them too. The case stalled until the anonymous package arrived. Clapperboard Scene 6. Digital Graveyard. 3 days later, an envelope arrived at the police station with no return address. Inside was a flash drive labeled Play ME. It contained 2 files. A blurred photo of Adam standing near a dark figure under the bleachers. Timestamp 5 hours, 50 minutes, and 31 seconds. An audio recording. Muffled voices. Then a scream. Then static. Then a voice whispering. I told you not to call her. Now you've ruined everything. Voice analysis was inconclusive, but Detective Ellison recognized a pattern. This wasn't random. This was planned. And someone inside the school system was helping cover it up. Clapperboard Scene 7, the anonymous email. 4 days after the flash drive, Detective Ellison received an email from an encrypted account. The subject line read, "Check the basement." Attached was a building blueprint of Lincoln High. There, hidden in plain sight, was a sub-basement room labeled AV storage, unused for years. When police raided it, they found outdated equipment, VHS tapes, and a discarded security system. One tape was labeled 05-17_K. It showed Adam Keller in a heated argument with someone shocking. Principal Janet Holt. Clapperboard Scene 8. What was Adam going to expose? The footage revealed that Adam had discovered something. Something about funding fraud, grade manipulation, and abuse of authority. He threatened to expose it. Principal Holt warned him, "Do this and you'll destroy the school. You'll destroy yourself." Adam didn't care. He planned to go public the next day. He never got the chance. Clapperboard Scene 9. The call that came too late. Detective Ellison retrieved Adam's call logs. One outgoing call made it 5 hours, 51 minutes, and 13 seconds. It dialed 911. But 13 seconds in, the call dropped. In those 13 seconds, a whisper was heard. "It's Janet." She. Then a loud thud. Then nothing. If that call had lasted 13 seconds more, dispatch could have traced it. Maybe saved him. Maybe caught the killer red-handed. But it didn't. And now Janet Holt was missing. Clapperboard Scene 10. Gone without a trace. 3 days after the investigation pointed toward her, Principal Holt disappeared. No farewell. No credit card activity. No known associates. Security footage from her home? Deleted. Phone? Disconnected. But in her office drawer, investigators found a note. Some stories are better left untold. You were warned, and now someone else will pay. Clapperboard Final Scene. It happened again. Just as Detective Ellison prepared to release the final report, another call came in. Same town, same field, same method. Another body, another teacher, and next to it a phone. Open. Dialing 911. 13 seconds long. The killer was back. Cut to black. Part 2. The last time it happened, it took us a week to find the body. This time, it was waiting for us. A new victim. Same crime scene. Same signature. Same chilling 911 call. Exactly 13 seconds. But this time, the killer left a message. This isn't a story about murder. It's a story about power. Silence. And how long a town can pretend it doesn't hear the screams. This is part 2 of the true crime series. 13 seconds too late. Clapperboard Scene 1. Deja Vu in Blood. August 26, 2022. Just 9 days after the murder of Adam Keller. Another body. Another teacher. Same location. Same method. Throat slit. Blood pooled. Phone dialing 911 for exactly 13 seconds. This time it was Linda Bray, a chemistry teacher at Lincoln High. Quiet. Respected. No known enemies. But as detectives approached her lifeless body, something caught their eye. A single sheet of paper, folded neatly in her hand. It read, "You thought it ended with Adam. You were 13 seconds too late then. Now you're 26 seconds behind. Signed, J." Clapperboard Scene 2. The killer escalates. Detective Maya Ellison was no longer treating this as an isolated case. 2 murders, both educators, both within 10 days, both tied to the same failing school system, and both with 13-second 911 calls. The public was panicking. Parents withdrew their kids. Teachers demanded answers. The school board remained silent. But behind the scenes, Maya was building a digital profile, a map of interactions, motives, and the timing of everything. Every 911 call, every camera glitch, every missing minute, and it pointed to one horrifying truth. These murders were rehearsed. Clapperboard scene 3. A witness steps forward. Then came a break in the case. A janitor, Russell Dean, claimed to have seen something, both mornings. On Adam Keller's morning, he saw a man in a hoodie entering the AV sub-basement before 5:30 a.m. On Linda Bray's morning, he saw the same man, but this time walking calmly out of the field gate. No blood, no panic. I thought he was one of the coaches, Russell admitted, but there was something off. He didn't look at me, just kept walking and whistling. When asked what tune the man whistled, Russell paused, then said, "It was a school bell tone, the one that rings every morning at 7:30. But Linda died at 5:49 a.m. Why would he be whistling that?" Clapperboard scene 4, a third name. Days later, another shock rock Sagefield. Claire Dalton, the student who once accused Adam Keller, was found unconscious in her bathtub. The note read like a suicide letter. But something was wrong. No drugs in her system. No water in her lungs. Instead, a small cut behind her ear. When she woke up 3 days later, Claire whispered to the nurse. "He came back. He told me I was next. He said he'd call before he came, just like with Adam." Claire remembered a phone call the night before Linda was killed. A blocked number. The voice said, "Tick-tock, Claire. It's 13 seconds so your truth runs out." But the call had only lasted 12 seconds. Clapperboard scene 5, Operation Bellringer. Detective Ellison dug into the school's archived emails and found encrypted messages exchanged between staff, using code names like Bellringer Chancellor and Sleeper. One recurring term kept showing up. Operation Bellringer, 13-13-13. It referenced 13 seconds, 13 victims, 13 years of silence. She traced the oldest email back to 2009, the same year a student named Jason Cole mysteriously disappeared from Lincoln High after accusing 3 teachers of abuse. That case was never solved. His body was never found. But now Maya had a theory. Jason Cole wasn't dead. He was back, and he was killing. Clapperboard scene 6, 13 seconds of death. In a desperate move, Maya leaked the 911 audio recordings to the public. Her goal? To draw the killer out, to make him feel invincible. Instead, she received a USB drive left in her mailbox. It contained a new file, a 13-second audio clip, a female voice crying, then a whisper. 13 seconds is how long it takes to confess or to die in silence. Your move, detective. Maya ran the audio through software. A background sound emerged. A bell, then the sound of a body hitting water. Clapperboard scene 7. Hidden in plain sight, armed with the new audio, Ellison and her team scoured Lincoln High's gym basement. Behind a bolted metal door, they found a sealed maintenance shaft. At the bottom, a dry well. Inside it, bones, multiple skeletons, and a torn school ID. It read, Jason Cole, class of 2010. But the DNA wasn't his. Instead, it matched a missing gym teacher from 2012. And one of the bones was still fresh, Linda Bray. Jason Cole was in the well. He had built the well. Clapperboard scene 8, Maya's personal message. At 12 a.m., Detective Ellison's phone rang. Private number. She picked up. "Detective, I told you, this isn't about murder. It's about reckoning. Next time, don't be 13 seconds late." Then the line went dead. In her inbox, she found a video. It showed her 6-year-old daughter walking to school, filmed from the bushes, time-stamped 5:49 a.m. Clapperboard scene 9, the final countdown. Maya raced to the school the next morning. Her daughter was safe this time, but the killer had made it personal. She knew what came next. Another body, another 13-second call, and the killer's pattern was accelerating. She had to make a choice. Go public and cause a town-wide panic, or stay silent and keep the killer in sight. She chose silence. But the killer had already made his next move. Clapperboard final scene, 1 minute past the hour. September 3rd, 7:31 a.m. A phone rings inside the Sagefield Police Department. It auto-answers. A voice whispers, "It's already over." "Check your desk, Maya." On her desk, an envelope. Inside, a photograph. Her partner, Detective Paul Gray, tied to a chair, mouth duct-taped. The clock behind him reads, 5:51. The phone next to him. 911 call. 13 seconds long. Then static. Cut to black. Part 3. You thought it couldn't get worse. But the game just changed. A cop goes missing. A killer taunts from inside the system. And the town of Sagefield learns that when justice is too slow, vengeance takes its place. This isn't fiction. This isn't Unsolved. Welcome to part 3 of the real-life horror story that's captured the internet. 13 seconds too late. Clapperboard scene 1. When the hunter becomes a hunted, Detective Maya Ellison stared at the photograph on her desk. Her partner Paul Gray, bound to a chair. The wall clock behind him read 5:51 a.m. Just like Adam. Just like Linda. And a phone on the floor, mid-call with 911. 13 seconds. Again, there was no time to wait. She traced the metadata on the photo. It was taken exactly 12 hours earlier. Meaning if Paul wasn't already dead, he had minutes, maybe seconds. Clapperboard scene 2. Coordinates from a ghost. Using the XIF data from the image, Maya tracked the photo's origin to a location that didn't officially exist. 107 Briar Hollow Lane. On every map, the address was listed as an empty field. But in reality, it was a crumbling Victorian-style house, hidden behind overgrown hedges and no trespassing signs. Inside, they found a makeshift room, with blood on the floor, a phone smashed to pieces, and rope fibers. But no Paul. Instead, in the center of the room was a TV monitor. When it flickered on, it showed Paul still alive, and a voiceover said, "Tick-tock, detective, you have 13 hours left. After that, he gets the Linda treatment." Clapperboard scene 3. Who was Jason Cole? Maya revisited the case of Jason Cole, the student who disappeared in 2009 after accusing teachers of abuse. She obtained his confidential student file from an old district employee. In it were chilling reports. Jason had behavioral issues post-assault. He claimed teachers were part of a ring. He was expelled after a mental breakdown in the gym basement. But the final entry was dated the day after his disappearance, in a handwriting Maya didn't recognize. It read, "He's gone underground. Not missing. Just watching." Below it, a strange symbol, a bell inside an eye. And one more thing. Jason Cole had an older brother. Name, Dr. Elias Ward. Psychologist. Former Navy. Now missing since 2020. Clapperboard scene 4. The mastermind? Digging deeper. Maya discovered that Elias Ward had worked for the Department of Defense on psychological warfare programs until he disappeared after being accused of unethical experiments. One of those experiments? Cognitive conditioning through time repetition. Objective. Break a subject with using exactly 13-second audio pulses. Sound familiar? A whisper campaign emerged. Jason never acted alone. Elias was the mind. Jason was the tool. But now both are missing. And Maya feared they were turning Sagefield into an experiment. Clapperboard scene 5. Another clue, another corpse. The next clue came from a priest. At St. Mary's Chapel, Father Jim reported a locked cellar mysteriously opened one morning. Inside, a wooden cage. Inside the cage, a body. Detective Paul Gray. Eyes open, mouth gagged, dead from dehydration and stress shock. But his hand gripped something. A flash drive, labeled 1247. Clapperboard scene 6, Paul's last message. The flash drive contained a shaky video. Paul, clearly distressed, whispering into a camera. They're watching from inside the school. There's a network, former staff, admin, even cops. They call it the Bellringer cycle. Every 13 years, they cleanse the system. Adam knew. Linda found out. I'm number 3. Maya, don't trust anyone. Not even your captain. If this video ends, I'm probably already. The video cuts. exactly 13 seconds long. Clapperboard scene 7, the cycle of 13. In a rusted locker at Lincoln High, Maya found an old leather-bound journal hidden behind insulation. Inside were names, dates, and symbols. Every 13 years. 13 victims. Starting in 1983. Teachers, students, journalists, cops, whistleblowers. All tied to Sagefield. All made to vanish. The most recent page showed 4 names already crossed out. Adam Keller, Linda Bray, Paul Gray, and 1 name newly written at the bottom. Maya Ellison. Clapperboard scene 8, the broadcast. On September 7th at exactly 5:51 a.m., every school intercom in Sagefield activated. Automatically, a voice, masked and distorted, played for 13 seconds. The truth was always underneath your desks, but you looked away. Now we ring the bell until someone listens. And then the screaming began. One by one, teachers across the district received photos on their phones of themselves, sleeping, walking to school, watching TV, taken from inside their homes. And then a text. Your 13 seconds start now. Clapperboard scene 9. Break the silence or bury it. Maya had 2 options. Go public and reveal everything, risking mass hysteria. Keep it buried and track the network internally. She chose to leak Paul's video anonymously on Reddit and YouTube under the title, 13 Seconds Too Late, The Truth They Buried. Within 24 hours, it went viral. Within 48 hours, the FBI showed up, and then Lincoln High burned down. Firefighters claimed the fire started in the AV sub-basement, the exact place Adam had been murdered, but no bodies were recovered, and carved into the scorched gym floor in white chalk. The bell only rests when 13 are silenced. Clapperboard final scene, the blacklight file. 2 weeks later, Maya receives a manila envelope in her mailbox. Inside, a blacklight pen, a blank sheet of paper, a note, you miss someone. She shines the light. A name appears on the page. Samantha Ellison, her 6-year-old daughter. And the back of the paper? A timestamp, 5:51 a.m. Tomorrow, Part 4, The Secret Network, 13 Victims, and a killer who hides in plain sight. A detective racing against the clock to save her daughter. And a town unraveling from the inside as the final names are revealed. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a documented nightmare. Welcome to Part 4 of the real true crime story haunting the nation. 13 Seconds Too Late. Clapperboard Scene 1. Not just a list, a warning. Detective Maya Ellison stared at the name glowing on the paper under blacklight. Samantha Ellison, 5:51 a.m. Tomorrow. Her 6-year-old daughter had been marked. Not by accident, by design. This wasn't about secrets anymore. It was about punishment. She rushed Samantha to a federal safe house. But the FBI agent assigned, Agent Trevor Wells, was found dead the next morning. Phone in hand. 13-second 911 call logged. At 5:51 a.m. But Samantha was missing. Clapperboard Scene 2. The Ghost Bus. Witnesses reported seeing a yellow school bus parked on an abandoned service road just past Briar Hollow, the same place where Paul Gray had been held. But when Maya arrived, the bus was gone. Left behind was a child's glittery backpack, smeared with ash. Inside was a school field trip permission slip dated September 13, signed in Maya's name. But Maya never signed it, and the school that issued it doesn't exist anymore. It burned down in Part 3. Clapperboard Scene 3. The final countdown begins. Searching for leads, Maya returned to the scorched ruins of Lincoln High. In what was left of the gym, she discovered a melted lockbox embedded in the floor under bleacher 13. Inside, a charred notebook, a Polaroid of a young Jason Cole, and a brass key marked 13 Hall B from archived blueprints. Hall B didn't exist in the current school layout, but in older versions from 1982, there was a hidden hallway running beneath the teacher's lounge. The entrance, now bricked over. She ordered it broken open. What lay beneath was not a hallway. It was a bunker. Clapperboard Scene 4. The Ritual Room. Inside the hidden underground chamber, Maya and FBI forensic teams found 13 chairs, all bolted to the ground in a circle, a central table covered in dried blood, old cassette recorders, and a wall painted with 13 names, 11 crossed out. The 12th? Paul Gray. The 13th? Samantha Ellison. This wasn't random. This was ritualized murder. And in the corner, hidden in a locked cabinet, was a VHS tape labeled Bellringer 1983. Initiation number 1. Clapperboard scene 5. The tape from hell. They played the VHS at Quantico's Secure Media Lab. It showed an initiation ceremony. 12 men and women in school staff uniforms. Teachers, counselors, police. They swore loyalty to the Ring of 13, vowing to purge corrupt vessels every 13 years. We ring the bell to cleanse the system. We silence the broken. We obey the silence. The final speaker stood up, a much younger Janet Holt, the former principal who had disappeared after Adam Keller's death. And then the camera panned to a boy tied to a chair. Jason Cole. Clapperboard scene 6. What happened that night? Jason was never missing. He was imprisoned, conditioned, transformed. According to case files recovered from the underground chamber, Jason was forced to undergo sleep deprivation, sound therapy, and emotional breaking. The goal? To create a servant, a cleaner, a child turned executioner. He didn't escape. They released him. And now, 13 years later, he'd returned for his own cleansing, killing the original 13 and anyone who enabled them, including their children. Clapperboard scene 7. The bus route to nowhere. Analyzing bus route logs from 2009, Maya found that a private disciplinary education facility used to operate under the name Bellringer Academy, located 90 minutes outside Sagefield, closed by the state for unethical psychological practices. It had supposedly been demolished, but drone footage revealed otherwise. The building was intact, and parked outside, the same yellow school bus. Clapperboard scene 8, the 13th bell. Maya arrived with backup. The academy grounds were dark, silent, but on a loudspeaker, a voice echoed, "Tick-tock, detective. You're early. The bell tolls at 5:51. You still have time to confess." Inside, she found 13 chalkboards arranged in a circle, each with the name of a victim. And at the center, Samantha, gagged, eyes wide, tied to a desk. Standing behind her, Jason Cole, now 29, emotionless, calm. Clapperboard scene 9, the conversation before the gun. Jason didn't run. He simply sat, held a remote detonator, and whispered, "You were the first to ask the right questions. But this isn't justice. This is balance. They took my voice, so I took theirs. Samantha's the last one. After her, the bell stops." Maya asked him, "Why her?" Jason paused. "Because she's not like the others. She hasn't looked away yet. But she will. They always do. Unless you silence me first." Clapperboard final scene, 5:51 a.m. The clock hit 5:51 a.m. Jason placed a phone on the table. It began dialing 911. The countdown began, 13 seconds. Maya aimed her gun. Jason smiled. "The bell's already ringing, detective. You just can't hear it yet." Gunshot. Cut to black. Then, a final frame. A new list of names. 13 children, including Samantha. And at the top, Jason's handwriting. Bellringer Cycle, Next Generation. Part 5. A secret network, exposed. A killer raised inside the silence. A daughter caught between vengeance and survival. And a mother forced to choose between justice and blood. This is a final chapter in the saga that shocked the world. 13 seconds too late, the last ring. Clapperboard scene 1. The shot. The final second ticked. The gun fired. But Maya didn't shoot Jason. She shot the detonator. Jason flinched, startled, but didn't move. The 911 call timed out. 13 seconds. Again, Samantha was alive. Jason stared at Maya, not angry, not scared, just finished. You ended the cycle, but you didn't stop it. Clapperboard scene 2, Jason in custody. Jason Cole was arrested without resistance. He confessed to all 12 murders, detailed every operation, every accomplice, even named names, school board officials, retired police chiefs, mental health doctors. But by the time law enforcement raided those names, they were all dead, apparent suicides, each with a 13-second voicemail left behind, each whispering, "We rang the bell so they wouldn't." Clapperboard Scene 3. Jason wasn't alone. Inside Jason's personal effects was a journal, the same symbol again, a bell inside an eye. But every entry referred to a second person, the conductor. This person had orchestrated the entire Bellringer cycle, trained Jason, chose the victims, handled every 911 call timing, knew where Samantha would be before Maya did. A shadow, a mentor, a monster, and then a clue, a name written in red ink. S. Ellison. Clapperboard Scene 4. Who is S. Ellison? Maya was stunned. She only knew one S. Ellison, her daughter, Samantha. But then she saw the birth certificate again and spotted something odd. Samantha's certificate had been filed twice, once at birth, once 3 months later. Filed by someone named Sarah Ellison, her own sister, who died in a car crash in 2018. Except Sarah never had a child. Or did she? Maya's mind raced. What if Samantha isn't mine? Clapperboard Scene 5. The Bloodline Secret. Maya quietly ordered a DNA test. The results came in 3 days later. Samantha Ellison was not her biological child. Not even close. She was Jason Cole's niece. Her mother? Janet Holt, the same principal who vanished in Part 1, which meant Jason hadn't marked Samantha to kill her. He marked her to protect her. She was the final bloodline of the original Bellringer architects, and the last one they couldn't control. Clapperboard Scene 6. Jason's final request. In federal prison, Jason made one request, to speak with Samantha one last time. Maya refused, but Samantha found a way. She mailed him a single letter. You were right. The bell rang. I heard it too. But what if I'm the one meant to stop it? Jason never replied. He was found dead in his cell 13 days later. No wounds. No signs of struggle. Just a 13-second voicemail on his prison phone. Clapperboard Scene 7. The last name. Maya was promoted to chief investigator of the Federal Cold Case Psychological Unit, created to track other Bellringer-style cults across the country. On her first day, she received a package. Inside, a single school bell, a list of 13 names, and one final name at the top, Maya Ellison, 5:51 a.m. Clapperboard Scene 8. Samantha's new drawing. At home, Maya found Samantha sketching in her notebook. What are you drawing, baby? Samantha smiled. A school, but it's underground, and it has 13 doors. And every time you open one, someone disappears. Maya froze. Why 13? Samantha looked up, because that's how many it takes, before the bell rings again. Fade to black. Or is it? The Bellringer cycle has concluded, but whispers of similar cases have emerged in Ohio, Nevada, and even overseas. New names, new bells, new countdowns. White have each checkmarked the end.